this is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to your Friday edition, the first day of summer edition of the afternoon show. Jay has his lemonade in hand, ready to go. I've got, Jay, what I got here? I got my Orange Kiss energy drink. I'm out of Dubby right now, so I can't have. I'm waiting for something to come in, so I had to get something for the meantime. But Jay, it's Friday, first day of summer, afternoon show. It is 2:16 Eastern. After our little pre-show meeting, I got the camera back, Jay. I got a brand new web camera ordered in the other day. It just came in today, so trying this one out here. Computer's getting old. Have to keep it going one way or another. $30 camera. We'll see how long it lasts, but we are here. We are on the show. And Jay, how you doing on this Friday?
Well, I'll tell you, Logan, lemonade by itself just tastes different without the vodka.
That's you're just drinking the mixer? Is that what you're doing?
No, not even that, Logan. It's just Crystal Light lemonade.
Oh, okay.
Crystal Light, that's it.
Well, you
the wife said, Jay, you're just getting Crystal Light. So, and it's a little different, but with that being said, though, it makes for a great day. So it's a hot day, glass lemonade, feels pretty good. But I will tell you this, my Astros are in 7th place overall in the MLB world, and we're only a half a game back from the Yankees for taking over the 6th spot. And I want to say we are 5.5 back from Detroit. So we're we got a lot of baseball left, but we can actually. It makes me blow my mind that fact that we are still we are in contention for being able to get the top spot in MLB. If it unfolds that way, no, I think we'll get there, Logan. Probably not. But it just to be in contention, when you figure the fact that Houston Astros are literally playing with minor leaguers in the rotation, and we're still only this far out, that says something, right? That's got to say something. That's got to say something.
And hey, Jay, I'm feeling pretty good about my team, about the Braves. We've had a rough start to the year. We know this. We've talked about it before. But Jay, we're coming off a 3-game sweep of the Mets at home. That's encouraging. That's the first place Mets right there. So I'm feeling good. We're still under 500. We are at 34 and 39. We've got we're basically just going through the gauntlet of the NL East these next couple of days. Jay, we've got the Marlins the next couple of days. Then I think we've got the Phillies, and then we go to New York later next week. So I mean, if we want to make up some ground, this is the next couple of week and a half, 2 weeks to do so. Against all of your division opponents. So really kind of a put up or shut up type of moment for the team. Great pitching over the weekend. Offense came alive. And also, Jay, I think we haven't talked about in a couple of months because he's been suspended, who's been tearing it up in AAA with the Gwinnett Stripers. You see here, right there, not sponsored, but could be. Jurickson Profar, Jay. He's coming back in about a week on June 28th or 29th. I believe is when his suspension will be lifted from the minors. He's able to come back up to the majors. So he's looking good so far in a handful of games in AAA. So hopefully that can continue back in the majors. And we know the left field spot has kind of been a wasteland for Atlanta. They've kind of been plugging guys in and out for the entire 80-game suspension, trying to get something going on. And some days are better than others, we'll say. But I'm encouraged with the team. Spencer Strider's looked good the last 2 outings. He did really well. He's starting to get his arm strength back. He was throwing around 97, 98, 95 in that range, which is a lot better than what it was early when he came back. Chris Sale, Jay, I don't know if you saw the internet, he made that great diving play. I mean, Chris Sale's a big dude. He's 6'5" plus or whatever, and he made a nice diving catch to get a runner out. And it feels like the mojo's coming back a little bit, which God they've needed all season. So love to see that. But that's kind of our baseball spiel with our teams. And you mentioned the Yankees finally, they're hanging on there, Jay. They're hanging on. They're doing something.
Quick question. I want to go back to Profar just for a minute. I know he's coming back to the team for the regular season, But I was understanding that he will not be available if you make the postseason as part of that suspension. Am I correct on that or incorrect?
You are correct with that. So he's not going to be eligible for this postseason, which is just a punch in the gut still, because he's suspended for 80 games for their performance-enhancing substance violation. He got popped for HCG. That is what he was taking. So he'll get to play in the regular season, but he won't be at the postseason. So obviously, Jay, with the trade deadline coming up in about a month, I mean, I definitely think that, Atlanta, if they're smart, they'll acquire somebody, maybe just a more significance for that spot. And who knows? Maybe we could get something going in the postseason, but they're still a while away with that, as we know. But until we get there, Jay, we're talking postseason.
Yes.
We're talking basketball postseason now, Jay. And I think this is the first time in 10 years we're getting a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. Quite frankly, I thought that Oklahoma City would knock them out last night. I thought that'd be it. They'd beat them on the road. With Halliburton also not 100% as we know. I was thinking, because you look at it either two ways, right? Either one is they're just going to lay down and get ran over, right? That's pretty much it. And the team ain't got no mojo after that. Or they can do what they did last night, and they can rally, and guys who aren't, superstars, we'll say, but good players, they can step up and they can show, why they're in this position they are at the moment. And a guy who we've seen do that, Jay, also, throughout the finals before, and also just throughout this postseason, that's Pascal Siakam, who recorded a double-double last night, 16 points, 13 rebounds. He was tremendous. Everyone did really well. I feel like, Jay, also, if Miles Turner got his shot to fall, I mean, this could have been a lot more of a blowout. I mean, he only had, 3 points the whole night for him. So the big, their big center couldn't do a whole lot. He didn't grab a whole lot of rebounds either. But I mean, Siakam did really well. Nembhard had 17, which we've seen him kind of be, a streaky player. Either he's going to get you some points or he's not. So he did well. I mean, Halliburton was still, kind of limited. You know what I mean? I thought he had a decent game. Obviously, he's not at 100%, but I feel like for playing with a calf injury, and from all signs, it shows like it's a pretty rough injury too. They said that, if it was the regular season, he'd be out for a couple of weeks. To still put up 14 points and 5 assists while only 1 turnover, that's great. You'll take that any day of the week out of him. And off your bench, man, you had Obi Toppin putting up 20 and TJ McConnell putting up 12 while also getting 9 rebounds and 6 assists. Basically starter numbers right there. So let's just talk about Indiana first, since they did get the win at home, forced a Game 7. What did you like about their play last night? Before we'll talk about the Thunder here in a minute.
Well, let's be honest. When we talk about defense in the league, the first team that comes to mind is OKC, having the number 1 defense in the league. But last night didn't really look so much. It looked like it was actually reversed. It looked like the Pacers were the better defensive team in the league when you look at what they did. They had, I believe it was 11 steals to 4 for OKC. They had 48 rebounds to 41 for OKC. And then really their turnovers were, I want to say it was 11 turnovers to 21 turnovers for OKC. Those are big numbers. Big numbers. 10, was it 10 or yeah, was it 16 blocks to 4? When you're doing those kinds of things on defense for Indiana, you already got a great offense, and now you add this with a great defensive effort. Mm-hmm. I really don't think that they were ready for it. I don't think OKC was even close to being ready for it. So that's really what sticks out to me the most. Halliburton got out there. He was somewhat effective. Obi Toppin had a great night. All these great McConnell played extremely well, things of that nature. But at the end of the day, the defensive effort from Indiana was far and above what OKC was putting on the floor. And OKC put on a terrible product on the fourth.
Yeah, it wasn't great. And just a correction there. They had 16 steals, not blocks. They had 5 blocks, but that was still more than what
I'm sorry,
OKC had.
I have a hard time reading that small number, but yeah, you're right.
No. You're
fine.
right.
Yeah.
But no, I thought that Indiana played really well. Obviously, they had home crowd behind them. They outscored them in every single quarter throughout it. And I mean, it was just a good performance overall, and a reason, obviously why they extended the series to one final game and winner take all. But let's go over now and talk about OKC. Just a rough performance overall from the team. MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, leading scorer. He had 21 points, which is nice, right? But 4 rebounds. He's not a rebound merchant or anything. Only 2 assists, and Jay, he had 8 turnovers. They were just, picking his pocket. He was struggling last night. It felt like he was kind of forcing either shots or plays, which you don't see a whole lot from him. But honestly, Jay, he didn't get a whole lot of help from the rest of his team. He was 7 of 15, right? So just under 50% shooting. But when you look at the rest of the team and how they did, Jalen Williams, a guy who had the good performance earlier in the series, Jay, he had 16. He was your second best scorer. He was 6 of 13, but the rest of the squad, rest of the starters, right? Isaiah Hartenstein, he's not a major scorer. He had 10 points, 4 rebounds. Lou Dort, we know he's a defensive guy, but 3 points, 4 rebounds. And Chet Holmgren put up a triple single. He had 4 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls. I mean, not great. The bench didn't help a whole lot either for the most part. I mean, a lot of guys played, but it was a blowout, right? I mean, they won by, 17? They put the bench guys in for most of the end of the game. So there's not a whole, there's not a major reason to look at the bench depth because there wasn't a whole lot of much. I mean, Caruso had only 2 shots. He didn't get you any points. The other Williams, Jalen Williams, with a Y, he had 7 points, 5 rebounds. He was plus 13 coming off the bench. He was, efficiently, Jay, he was your best player plus minus. Him and AJ Mitchell had, plus 13 each. But a lot of the team got just, minus. I mean, Jalen Williams, the starter, minus 40, Jay, for the plus minus there. Not great there. They just struggled. I mean, they only shot under 42% as a team from the field and under 27 from the three-point arc. So, that's just not what we're used to seeing from this team. Definitely an off night for the Thunder. The free throws were still dropping. I felt like if they didn't shoot their free throws, it would be even worse. They were 21 to 26. That was like the only category for the most part that they did they did better than Indiana last night. So it's just a tough one overall. But let's talk about the Thunder, man. What you saw from them, and then we'll do a preview for Game 7 since we'll have another show about it because the game's going to be on Sunday night. So we'll just do a preview here, and then we'll talk about the recap on Monday.
Yeah, it's interesting to me, man. When you look at this game, before I get into it too much on the Thunder side of it, when you look at this game, it was 108-91. But if you watched this game, that score has no reflection of this game.
No.
Hey, what's up, Joe? When you look at them the Thunder being down by 31 points, You got to say to yourself, I said to myself a couple of things. I don't know if the Thunder came out tired. I don't know if the Thunder, it looked to me like they come out disinterested, like they didn't really care to be there, like they weren't fighting for the championship because they could have ended the championship and went home champions. It just did not look like the same Thunder that we've seen not only in the playoffs, but the entire regular season. I don't know who this Thunder team is. It doesn't even look like the Thunder team that I've been watching since Game 1 of the regular season into Game 1 through 5 of the postseason of this series. So I don't know what their issue was, why they came out the way they came out, but it was ridiculous. When you look at when you break it down, 8 for 30 from the 3-point line. I'm like, at what point does the coach and or the player say, we need to make adjustments? Yep. At what point does Shai Alexander say, you know what, I'm a hell of a damn mid-range shooter. I'm going to start doing some more mid-range shooting or some lofts or whatever it is I got to do to jumpstart this team and get us back into the game. You're 8 for 30 at the 3-point line. Somebody should have said something to this damn team that says, hey, guys, it's not your night at the arc. Let's start getting to the paint. Because in Game 5, they went to the paint a lot. and they set the tone early.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like they should have went back and played like they played in game 5. They should have tried to get the foul. They should have tried to get the better percentage shot. They should have tried to get that and one at the rim. And they did none of that. Literally did none of that. And that I felt was a huge reason why this wound up the way it is. There was a lot of lazy passing, which led to a lot of turnovers for the Thunder. I said this earlier to Gonzo yesterday that Chet Holmgren has got to play a pivotal role in this game. And as you saw from the stat line, he absolutely disappeared and was nothing. Another problem was Dort. Dort was another liability on the offense. If you're going to be a liability on offense, you better be a dynamo on defense. And he did none of that. So, and the last thing I noticed about this team was when you look at their minutes, the only one that has 30 or more is SGA. That's it. Everybody else has 24, 27, 21, 21, and Harkenstein put in 16 minutes. Caruso off the bench gave you 22. K. Williams gave you 18. Jay Will gave you 12, and so forth down the road. So you got a lot of minutes. I mean, every person was used in this lineup. Even the guy at the bottom of it, Mitchell, was given 12 minutes. So what does that tell me? Does it tell me that, A, the starters are tired and they only can play half of the game because there's 48 minutes and you're only getting 21 out of a lot of them? So that means, are they tired and they can only play half a game? Or are they just ineffective, don't look like they want to be there, and the coach went to the bench to try to find a combination that actually would do this? And that was his form of an adjustment. Either way, it was bad all the way across the board.
I mean, you know, we can look at it now and just say that, you know, maybe they just took it easy. They weren't locked in per se because they knew that Halliburton was injured, and they said, "Oh, it'll be a cakewalk," right? Because that's the case we've seen with many times over the years throughout whatever sports. Is a star player gets hurt, he said, "Oh yeah, we've got it in the bag now," and it don't turn out that way. So that might have been what OKC did, and I think that, you know, Coach Dagnall, and like you mentioned, only one guy played over 30 minutes. He waved the white flag. He said, "There's no point in playing these guys, getting them hurt. We're down by, like you said, over 30 points at one time. There's no reason to have these guys out here. We still have one more game. We're going to be at home as well, so you know the home crowd's going to be pumped. Let's just get these guys safe, keep them home, and finish it out hopefully in Game 7. So that's what we'll see on Sunday night. You saw here, Joe, he says he still got his money on the Thunder in Game 7. I picked the Thunder to win as well. I mean, we thought, what, Jay, it'd go 5-6. I don't think any of us picked going 7. Either if we were Team Pacers or Team Thunder. But I mean, I think it's just been a really good series overall. I think it's going to be a tight game. I don't think we're going to see a game like this again on Sunday night. But I want to hear what your thoughts are, final predictions as we wrap up the basketball season.
Yeah, here's my prediction for the Thunder. It comes down, and then Sonia says work.
Okay, what's going on, Sonia? And like I said, it's all about work. It's all about. Well, I know you're at work right now, but it's all about.
Maybe she's at work. Can't
you're at work, but we know what you mean. She's at work, Jay.
Well, you know,
they got to put in that work.
You're still not wrong. They got to put the work in, regardless if you're at work or they got to go to work. Somebody's got to go to work for this team, Logan. Because here's my problem. Here's my problem. Last night, and I'm gonna tie that into the preview or the preview. Mm-hmm. Last night, I saw a Halliburton. He said yes. That is right. Yeah. You know, last night I saw a Halliburton before the game said, "There is no way in hell I'm not playing. I will do everything humanly freaking possible. I will cut my damn arm off if I have to get into this game."
Mm-hmm.
And then you see a Thunder that looks like they don't even want to be in the game.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. That is a big problem. And I don't care. You take that attitude. Yeah, you may be going back to your home court, and you may have over 48 hours to rest up and get ready for that game. And I do expect you to show up. But the problem is, who wants it more? And I fully believe that the Pacers want this series more than OKC does. Point blank. Point blank. And that's why I feel like I did pick OKC in 7. Yeah. And I'm still going to say OKC in 7. But I'm going to tell you right now, just because they had the talent and the ability to win this game and maybe even the momentum to a certain degree, it doesn't mean a damn thing if the other team wants it more than you do, because that could be the difference that makes the Pacers win this game. So I am picking the Thunder, but I'm telling you, if you don't come out ready to match the intensity and the want and the desire and the work ethic that Indiana and Halliburton is putting into it, you may not get what you want. You can't always get what you want. Remember that song, Logan?
Can't always get
that
it.
May resonate in OKC if they don't come out and play some ball.
We'll see what happens on Sunday night, Jay. Last game of the NBA season for this 2024-25 campaign. So we'll end it. Hey, what better way to end it with a Game 7? You can't beat that. So we'll see how these teams do on Sunday night. And Jay, you're talking about working, get somewhere, and Shedeur Sanders wanted to get somewhere in a hurry. Jay, he got a speeding citation, not 1 but 2. He got one this week for driving 101 miles per hour. That is not a typo there, I'm reading, in Ohio. It's back on June 6th when this was filed. He was pulled over by the Ohio State Patrol in the alleged violation. That was on June 5th out in Brunswick Hills, Ohio. State Patrol clocked him for going 91 in a 65. So according to the record, he failed to appear for an arraignment for that citation, and he faces a $269 fine, which for him is just, I can make that in 10 seconds. Then he was then stopped by an officer in the Strongsville, Ohio Police Department at 12:24 a.m. on Tuesday for driving 41 miles over the posted 60-mile-an-hour speed limit. That was when he was driving the 101. So, he's taking care. He's already paid all these off, I'm sure. Most recent citation, he must pay either a $250 fine for the 4th-degree misdemeanor or fight the ticket in court, which I'm sure is $250. He's just gonna pay that, and I mean that's nothing. So yeah, he'll just pay it. So look, we see. What was it? Zach Edey, right, with the Memphis Grizzlies. He got in trouble this week for speeding as well. I live in Georgia. Anyone who lives in the state knows the just awful driving offenses that the Georgia football team had the last year and a half. And really just like athletes in general too, Jay. Look, this is just me, right? That's my opinion, personally. If I am a Shedeur Sanders, a Zach Edey, or any type of athlete in any major league organization, and I have any quan, if you like to say, any money to just kind of spend freely, there's no way I'm driving, Jay. I'm not doing that. I'm getting a chauffeur. I'm getting Ubers everywhere. I mean, look, I know it's nice to have the nice flashy cars that can go fast and everywhere, but I mean, also, Jay, we just saw this week that Henry Ruggs just got out of jail for a special speaking engagement. He's still going to be there for quite some time because what he was doing, Jay, because of his speeding. And, both those guys, Shedeur and Edey, should be lucky that they didn't kill someone. They didn't get in a wreck. They didn't hurt themselves or anyone else. I've never understood, the reasoning why you should. Well, also why cars even go that quick. You know what I mean? What reason do you have to go 101 or 120 or whatever on the highway or back road? There's no reason for it. But look, it's with Zach and with Shedeur, so I'll just loop them both together. Look, they know better. They've driven for multiple years now. It don't matter if you're 16 or if you're 46, 56, 66, whatever. One of the first things you're told when you start driving, when you get a license, when you're learning to drive, is you go the speed limit And if you do go a little bit over, you go a little bit over. You don't go 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Because there's just no need for it. It's stupid. It makes no sense. And like you said, slap on the wrist for both for those guys. Just a fine here, fine there. And it is what it is. They'll pay it and they'll be all right. But just boneheadedness by both of those guys within the last week or so. And with Edie, I think his was in let me go back here, Jay, because like I said, Shedeur just had the speeding fines, right? He had the 2 speeding fines.
Yeah, he had the two speeding fines.
With Zach Edey, who, as we know, is the Grizzlies center, he was facing reckless driving charges, Jay. So he's getting a little bit more steeper penalties for this one because he was clocked going, like I said, this is all alleged, driving over 100 miles an hour on a road in Indiana last month. Look, if you saw Glenn, if you saw Chris or whatever, and they said, Heidi, I understand wanting to get out of there, but you don't need to go that fast. You don't need to go over 100. That was back in May 1st. It was where Purdue was, right? It was right around the university where he went to college. Yeah. He was going 101 to 55 is what they said. And he told the officer he was trying to pass a vehicle once he pulled over. Hey, you can pass a vehicle going 70, if that. You don't need to go 101. So he's now facing misdemeanor speeding and reckless driving charges. He'll be in court, I believe, sometime next week is when they said this is going to be. So we'll see that. And like I said, he just got drafted this past year. 9 points, 8.3 rebounds. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, him and Shedeur both got clocked going 100, 101. But that's funny. I was trying to pass someone. Dude, 101 to 55. I think you passed about 5 cars, if not him.
Yeah. Let me jump in here. Here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Number one, what they're doing is called joyriding. So there is a reason. It's not a good reason. Matter of fact, it's a stupid reason. But it's a reason. And the reason is joyriding. They're young, they're dumb. You finish the sentence, if you will. But it's joyriding. Now, I understand you want to have fun, this, that, and the other. If you want to make your car go 101 miles an hour, they got racetracks in every city. You can go put your car on that racetrack and you can go as fast as humanly possible in a safe and responsible way. What I don't understand is Henry Ruggs just got out on special visitation release. He's not out of prison, but they let him out to go do a spiel for ex-cons or ex-prisoners. Mm-hmm. And then he's got to go back in. And you would think when you see a young man do 156 miles an hour down the road in his Corvette, striking an SUV and watching a young lady burn to death and her dog burn to death, you'd think, and he gets 3 to 10 in the county pen, you'd think that, and really, by the way, I'm sorry, he should have got life, but he got 3 to 10. And as Shedeur, who's been educated by his father, Dion, who's a businessman, you think that, because I can understand, Jay, they come from backgrounds. They don't have a good, stable family. They weren't taught right. They weren't this. They weren't underprivileged, less economics. Okay, you can make all those excuses, and maybe there's some validity to that. But this is Deion freaking Sanders. Yeah. He's a highly educated, smart-thinking, forward-thinking person. You'd think that he would put the work ethic into his son and say, look, kid, I know you're going to want to go 200 miles an hour in that brand new Ferrari or whatever it is you're driving, but it's just not smart. Let me give you an example of that. You see old Henry Ruggs over there staying in state prison when he could be making millions? Don't let that be you. Mr. Edie, you see old Shedeur over there, Ruggs over there doing, don't let that be you. You would think that my point is that you think there's enough damn examples of death caused by speeding that somebody's going to get a brain cell working saying maybe I shouldn't put people's lives in danger. Maybe I shouldn't do this, this, and this. There's enough examples out there. It's ridiculous, Logan. It absolutely is damn near almost infuriating. There's no reason to go 101 miles an hour in a 65. Where exactly are you trying to get to that you have to be there so fast? Because it wasn't the training facility.
No.
You're only the number 3 guy. So what are you really doing? Trying to impress your friends, maybe? I don't know. At the end of the day, it's not a good business move. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure your father taught you better, and you got to stop making stupid mistakes. You're trying to develop into a starter for an NFL franchise. And even though speeding may be at the bottom of the totem pole compared to other things you could be doing, it certainly doesn't help your chances when you're the 3rd string guy trying to make and be a starter. I'm just saying it's not good business sense. It's not good common sense. And it damn sure isn't good road safety awareness.
No.
I'm just saying. I mean, Logan, it's ridiculous. So we keep saying the same thing over and over.
No, I mean, I'm the same way with like speeding or driving like that recklessly. I am with like drunk driving. Look, you're smarter than that. I mean, there's a million other reasons, million other options you can do nowadays. We got Jay. I can call an Uber in 20 seconds. Or whatever, or like you said, you can go and schedule an appointment to go drive a Porsche at a racetrack tomorrow. Like there's no need for it. Also, Frankie, glad you brought this up. We'll go back to baseball here in a second. He said the Yankees finally win, but Jay has not once seen and mentioned the Mets losing streak. Yes, Frankie, they've lost 6 in a row, courtesy of 3 of those right here in the hometown. He says Ricky Bobby always goes fast. Well, if you're not first, you're last. And Cal Naughton Jr. is certainly in 2nd place in all those races, as we know, because shake and bake don't always work. Jay, talk about shaking, talk about some bacon, talking about beating some people up. I mean, should we just get the Dodgers and the Padres in a ring at this point? Because they're pretty much going at it. So here's what happened just last night, because this has been going on for some time now. First off, the Dodgers lost to the Padres last night. That's also just important to note. Shohei Ohtani got hit in his shoulder, right? Shoulder blade, right? In the 9th inning, which is the 8th time a batter had been hit in this series. So, all right. He gets hit. So the Dodgers in the 9th say, well, we're not done yet. We're going to hit Fernando Tatis Jr. or the inning prior, rather. He took one to the hand, Jay. And the thing with Tatis, he might be out for a little bit. We haven't seen any reports of, if he's going to go on the injured list, or, if he just might miss a game or two. But I mean, Jay, if you get hit in the hand, I'm worried. Ohtani got hit in the shoulder blade. It is what it is. You just take it, you get a lump. You get hit in the hand. I mean, there's a bunch of ligaments and tendons you could snap in there. I mean, that's a lot. And we know, Tatis is their star player. You don't want him to get hurt. But basically, after those 2 dudes got hit, that was the 2nd time in 3 days that either Tatis or Ohtani had been hit by pitches, both the star players. And it was the 5th time the Dodgers had hit Tatis since the start of the 2024 season. Jay, why don't they like him? I mean, 3 times over the last 9 days, that feels a little personal, don't you say? I mean, the Padres manager, he walked out yelling at the Dodgers. Dave Roberts came out. He shoved the manager. He shoved Mike Schilt. So, I mean, he's going to probably get suspended for a game or 2, I would think, right? Yeah. So 2 managers got suspended, a bench coach, a pitcher who hit for he got ejected. Who threw at Ohtani. He got ejected. Padres won 5-3 in all this skirmish, but and then Jay, the kind of the coup de grace, right? The cherry on top. Manny Machado, did you hear what Manny said about all this? Because boy, this just adds another wrinkle to it. He says the Dodgers had better pray that Tatis is not seriously injured. He says they need to set up a little candle for Tati tomorrow. Hopefully the scans come back negative. That's not a good spot to get hit. I don't care who it is. I don't care who's on the mound. I mean, and then, like I said, nothing's there quite yet at this time of we're recording this. But Tatis was wearing a bandage on his hand after the game, and he sounded dejected, according to ESPN, when asked how he's feeling. And he said, not good. Jay?
Wow.
Jay?
Wow.
Frankie, I see you're in the chat. Also, he says the x-rays came back negative, but he's still in pain, so he'll be day to day. Okay.
No.
Okay. Thank you for that.
That's not accurate.
Oh, it's not accurate.
The x-rays came back inconclusive.
Okay.
Which means they don't know. They couldn't tell. So now they're going to have to do a CT scan. And the CT scan hopefully will reveal. So right now the x-rays are inconclusive. So the x-rays are out the door. Now we're going to the CT scan. And hopefully on the CT scan, and if the CT scan doesn't do it, then they're going to have to go to an MRI. I mean, there's going to be other ways that they can do it. But right now, that's interesting. The fact that it's inconclusive, that they can't tell.
Yeah, they're not sure. I'm sure he's going to be out for the next day or two for sure. But Frankie, I want to get your comments on this in the chat real quick. And Jay, I'll get your thoughts on it. But Frankie, just type away, man. I know you're a Yankees fan. You hate the Red Sox. But doesn't this feel like the modern day version of that? With these two guys going at it, these two teams going at it. Because we know Boston's been scuffling. But out west, man, this is a real heated rivalry. I mean, that was when, hey, remember when Pedro Martinez beat up Don Zimmer, threw him to the ground? I mean, I feel like we're another hit by pitch away from seeing that breakout out there in LA. Hey, Jay, sometimes a little bit of tension causes for a lot of fun in baseball.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. So Tatis has been hit 5 times since 2024 by Dodgers pitching. And 28 other teams, he's only been hit 4 times.
That's telling.
4 times.
That's telling,
so,
I'd say.
I think at this point, he's at a point now where he's like, look, guys, y'all got to clean it up. I'm just out here trying to play baseball. And it is worth noting that Ohtani was hit and the right shoulder blade, and correct me if I'm wrong, he's a right-handed throwing pitcher. He just came off Tommy John.
He just came back to pitching this week.
Yeah, I just wonder, and you got to imagine they're doing tests on Ohtani to make sure nothing was done on him as well. You got to imagine as much money as they're paying him. I know that they got doctors looking at him with some sort of imaging, but it's still your throwing arm, regardless of whether it was in the elbow where the Tommy John was done or the shoulder blade. Things still happen to have after or secondary third effects, meaning that, okay, maybe initially he's okay, he's just a little sore, whatever, but you don't know 100% what structurally things could have done that could lead maybe to future outlying injuries that could be coming up because of that hit. You don't know until you don't know what you don't know, right? I just know that 101 miles an hour to the back of his shoulder blade, I'm pretty sure that's got to do something more than just a bruise.
No. Yeah, man, it's I'm curious to see how this is going to go later on today, because these two teams, what time did they face off? Actually, their series wrapped up last night, so it's going to be a little bit before we see them again. Unfortunately, we got to wait. Let me check the schedule real quick and see when the next time these two teams will face off against each other, because I'm going to be sure to set my DVR for that one. So.
Oh, I'd definitely be setting mine for it. Oh, hell yeah.
Let's see. So the next time they play each other, it is going to be in the second half of the season, okay? It's going to be in the second half of the season, so you got to wait till after the All-Star break. And it's going to be, if I can get it to load here. Come on. I see they play the Astros a little bit later on this season, Jay, in the first half, so that'll be good series there.
Don't worry, we got enough
here we
minor
go.
leaguers to keep throwing at them, so you can hit our pitchers. We got enough minor leaguers. We're good.
Here we go, Jay. August the 15th, 16th, and 17th in Los Angeles is when these teams are going to be playing each other.
Oh, wow.
So we got about 2 months before they square off again. But the good part, Jay, or the interesting part, is it's a 3-game set for LA at home, right? Then they go and play a 3-game set on the road against the Rockies. And then they head off to San Diego, the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So we have to wait 2 months before they play each other again. but when they do, they'll be playing 6 times over the 9-10 days. So that is going to be telling then, because I know someone's going to get hit there. That's going to be fun to see. Also, Frank, you brought up a good point here. I was going to bring this up here real quick, Jay. Sammy Sosa, one of the game's best power hitters, he returned to Wrigley for the first time in 21 years. Man, he hadn't been there in, what was that? That was 2005. I guess the last time he was there, which is ages ago.
So it's been 20 years since he stepped on that field.
Mm-hmm. But
that's nuts. It's been a long time.
I was about to say, and it looks like they just had like a it was just like a Hall of Fame type deal. Yeah, because he's going into the Cubs Hall of Fame this season.
Right, he is. Yeah,
so like I said, he played there 13 years, 545 home runs over 1,800 plus games. And, of course, the 1998 season where he hit 66 and won the MVP. His last game with the Cubs was in Wrigley, October 2nd, 2004. And since then, he's, just kind of been hanging out ever since. He went to Baltimore, which everyone remembers that one, right? Right? Yeah. No.
Yeah, I sure do.
It's one of those things where it's like, oh, yeah, I don't remember you in this uniform. It's like him in Baltimore. Like John Smoltz with the Cardinals or anyone like that, or like what was it, Jim Tomei with the Twins? Just the immediate ones I can think of. It's like, what are you doing here? But it's cool to see though. I mean, just they welcomed him back with open arms, and I mean, look, fans are always going to love Sammy with what he did for the city. Like I said, didn't win a championship or anything, but my God, could he hit the ball far away, and he did so with a sweet swing. Also, Joe Cohn back here saying that. Hopefully by August, you guys will have Yordan Alvarez back and some of your pitching.
We can certainly use it.
I was about to say, hey, if you want him back, man, that's the time you want it, is in August. You get them ramped up for the month going into September. Hopefully they've got all the rest out and they're good to go for the postseason, because it looks like y'all are going to be heading there again if all things kind of go according to plan. Let's do a quick look at the standings here, and then we'll kind of give our final thoughts. Frankie, you're going to like this one. You're in first place, 2.5 games over, not the Red Sox, Jay. Not the Orioles, not the Blue Jays, but the Rays. The Rays, who are playing, coincidentally, at Steinbrenner Field because their field got beat up by the Storms months ago. And, I mean, it's just one of those cases, the Rays have guys you've never heard of, but they can win ball games. They've done that forever, I feel like, for at least 15 years. So you're up 2.5 on them. In the Central, the Tigers are... And they're running away with this division. Up 9.5 on the Guardians, who have kind of floundered this year. Then in the West, Jay, you got a 5-game cushion over the Seattle Mariners, which is nice to see. Kind of surprising though. You look at just the way that the division is. Texas, Jay, 36 and 39, kind of like Atlanta in the sense of just haven't had a good year this year. In the West. Then the East, obviously the Mets and the Phillies, they're now tied, by the way, in that division. Atlanta's 10 games back, but the Phillies are thanking them every day because, hey, we tied now. In the Central, we just mentioned the Cubs. The Cubs are on top in that division at 45 and 29. For Chris and Tony and Glenn, for the Reds, they are 39 and 36. They're still 6.5 games back, so it's a pretty tight race there. Then out West, as we just talked about, the Dodgers in the lead, 3.5 over the San Francisco Giants, who we know made that trade last week to acquire, it was actually earlier this week, rather, to acquire Rafael Devers to kind of give them another push on the offensive side to maybe leapfrog the Dodgers. We'll see. But that has been the standings update today. Jay, we'll get into our final thoughts here. We'll wrap up the show, head into our weekend. Anything else you got on your chest before we get off here and head into the weekend? We'll go back on Monday.
Yeah, I just wanted to just kind of address super quick Frank Cruz Jr. because I don't want him to feel like I'm not giving the equal weight to the Mets or any other organization that I'm giving to the Yankees in terms of being in a drought. So, yes, Frankie, number one, congratulations. Congratulations. You were able to end your 6-game skid and actually not get swept by the Angels. So congratulations, man. It is good to see you guys get back into things. You are a half game up right now on the Astros. You're at 4 games behind Detroit. I believe I'm at 4.5 or something along that line. It may even be 5.5. I'm not 100% sure. Actually, I have it right here. It's 4 and 4.5. So we're both of us are right in contention still to get the number one spot in the league. There's a lot of baseball games left to be played. I just want to say one thing to you, Mets. Thank you. Thank you for also getting into a slump, because that just makes New York look terrible over the last, week or two. You guys have been playing terrible ball, both in the Mets land and in Yankees land. So, Frankie, there you go. I have given out to the Mets the same amount of shame that I gave you for that 6-game skid. I just want to end on this, and then, Logan, you can get us out of here. You got to imagine this, Logan. It's very interesting to me, because Frankie had told me how bad Espada was going to be when he became our manager after Dusty Baker. And I kind of took him at face value, because nobody's going to know Espada better than Frankie, because he was a coach in that organization for a little while.
Correct.
So he
said, watch it.
But I want to admit, Frankie, you got to give Espada some credit here. You got to give him some clout here, because he literally has minor leaguers plus 2 major league pitchers in the rotation. You got Valdez, and then you got Hunter Brown. And then after that, it's straight minor leagues and relief pitchers that are carrying these games. And the fact that the Astros are at 4.5 games back of Detroit with minor leaguers in the rotation, come on, man. It's time to put some respect on the Astros and Espada as a manager. It's time. It is time to put some respect.
We'll see what happens. Jay, also over the weekend, we'll talk about it on Monday. College World Series, baseball, LSU and Coastal Carolina going at it. We'll see how that squares off this weekend. Tigers and Chanticleers. So we'll see if how that one rolls. I know who our guy Phil is rolling with out there in LSU land. We'll have a new NBA champion come Monday. So it's going to be an exciting weekend. If you're going out, please stay safe. Don't speed. Drive responsibly. Drink responsibly. And just have a good time. Watch a lot of sports this weekend. Take it easy. Summer is here, Jay. First day of summer today. So if you're out on a lake, be safe and just enjoy it. But for Jay McLovin, I've been your host and producer, Logan Landers. If you enjoy the show, like, comment, share, subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. I mean, best way to find all that, though, it's not just going over, left, right, center. All right, go over here. No, we got a link tree, Jay. Easy to find. You click on it, you tap on it. Description of every single episode for all of our shows, not just the afternoon show, but all the rest of them. And you look, you say, oh, hey, what's this show here? It's like, oh, this is a hockey show. Oh, great. Oh, Jay, video games. We got that too. Football, basketball, any of the major sports, boxing, MMA. I mean, you think of it, we have it here on the channel. So just look and explore. We got a bunch of great stuff. Check out our clips as well. So you can say, oh, hey, these guys are talking some good stuff. And just watch the full shows. We have a lot of shows not just every week, but every single day. So we got tons of content here on the channel. Check out our link tree. Once again, like, comment, share, subscribe. Stay safe this weekend, everyone. For Jay McLovin, I've been Logan Landers. We'll talk to you again later.